The air inside the cavern was thick, heavy with the sickening stench of curdled milk and the metallic tang of raw meat. I stood motionless in the deep shadows, feeling the cold stone against my back. Behind me, my 12 bravest men were reduced to trembling shadows. The entrance, our only hope of escape, was suddenly extinguished as the giant, Polyphemus, rolled a boulder the size of a mountain peak across the threshold. The ground shook with the finality of our imprisonment. We were no longer explorers. We were trapped prey in a monster's larder. He moved with a terrifying, heavy grace, his single eye scanning the dark corners for his first meal. Without a word, the beast reached out. He snatched 2 of my crewmen as if they were mere insects. I watched in paralyzed horror as their bones snapped like dry kindling against the jagged stone floor. The sound will haunt me forever, but I could not let terror win. I stepped forward, my hands shaking as I held aloft a skin of potent, dark wine. "Drink, great one," I called out, my voice steadying. He took the gift and guzzled the vintage until the purple liquid stained his beard. As his heavy lids began to sag under the weight of the alcohol, he looked down at me. "What is your name, little man?" he rumbled. I looked into that singular, bloodshot eye and whispered a single word. "Nobody." Polyphemus collapsed, his snoring sounding like a tectonic shift that threatened to bring the ceiling down upon us. This was our moment. We found a massive trunk of olive wood, heavy and raw. Together, we labored to sharpen the tip, our breath coming in ragged gasps. We thrust the point into the glowing embers of his hearth until it was charred and smoking. With a collective roar of desperation, we drove the burning stake deep into his lidless eye. The sound was like hot iron in water. The giant's scream tore through the cavern walls, a sound of pure, unadulterated agony. He thrashed in the darkness, his hands clawing at the air, but the light in his world had been extinguished forever. The other Cyclops gathered outside the boulder, their voices booming. "Who hurts you? Polyphemus?" they shouted. From within, he bellowed back in pain. "Nobody is hurting me. Nobody has blinded me by treachery." The giants outside grumbled and walked away, leaving their brother to his misery. I felt a grim smile touch my lips, but we were still trapped. As dawn broke, the giant moved the stone to let his flock pass. We tied ourselves beneath the bellies of his thick-wooled sheep, clinging to the coarse, greasy fleece. I felt his massive, blind hands groping the tops of the animals as they moved past him. My heart hammered against my ribs, but the sheep carried us out into the light of the morning sun. We reached the ship and scrambled onto the deck. Safety was within our reach, the open sea calling to us. But the fire in my chest burned hotter than the stake we used. I could not leave as nobody. I stood on the prow and screamed my true name across the foam. "I am Odysseus of Ithaca." The giant heard me. He hurled a mountain peak into the sea, the massive splash nearly crushing our hull. But the real damage was done. Poseidon had heard my name, and the sea turned black with his wrath. 10 years of salt, storm, and crushing solitude became the price for that single, fleeting moment of pride. The journey home had only just begun.
3 offerings. Like, sub, bell. Comment a prophecy you'd ask the oracle. Epic Mythos Unveiled thanks its faithful pilgrims. This is Epic Mythos Unveiled. Thanks for watching.